Joyfully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns. Thrilled to be here today with the author of Mind Magic, Bill Harvey, and Cheryl Mchunguzi from the Unity Church of Healing Light over in Huntington. Welcome back.
Thank you.
There's a quote in the book that I copied down because I really appreciated it, and it said, "What we let into our eyes and ears is much more a factor in our well-being than what we let into our stomachs." So what we're saying is here, what we see, what we decide to see on the TV, what movies we decide to watch, etc., and what we hear with our ears, other people's thoughts, ideas, positivity, negativity, is way more an important factor in our well-being than actually what we eat. Comment on that, please, Cheryl.
How many times have you got up in the morning, been in a great mood, happy, get in your car, get on the road, somebody cut you off? Shifts.
Shift.
Right? You shift.
Let's spell S-H-I-F-T, please.
That's right.
Shift happens.
Shift happens.
Okay.
Or you go to work and you say, "Good morning," and you walk in and one of your coworkers says, "What's so good about it?"
Or snarling at you.
Snarling at you, negative. And as you continue to progress, as you continue to be affected by that, your mood begins to shift and change. By the next hour, your happiness is gone. That is an indication or an example of how it is that outside environmental influence, that if we allow them, can change our whole perspective. So it's very important for you to guard your mind and your heart and what you hear, because that influences your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know for me, when something like that happens, a tool that I use is I'll say, I don't necessarily say it out loud, and I'll say, "That's not the truth." Or I'll say, "Cancel that thought." In my head, I'll say, "Cancel," Or sometimes I become what I call a bathroom metaphysician, where I have to go into the bathroom in some privacy and give myself a little pep talk.
Yes.
And say, I am not swayed by appearances. I'm not swayed by a negativity. I remember my spiritual inheritance. I remember that my thinking is creative. And I start making I am statements. I am peaceful. I am joyful. I am successful. I'm happy, until I can literally raise my vibrational energy. You can do that also with gratitude.
Yes.
And that's one of the things in the book that I appreciate, is that through meditation, and again, meditation, or as you called it, contemplation, or concentration, you can literally slow down the mind and create the space where you're more of a witness, as opposed to wrapped up in that negative, because that sometimes self-talk can go crazy. What is your cure for negative self-talk? Does your negative self-talk ever hit you? Because, you're almost like a guru at this point in your life. And I say that with respect, by the way.
I think we all have the native capability of rising above any situation, but
native ability, it's inherent, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, God is living through all of us. We all think that or most people think that they're separate, individual.
Some people think that, right?
Yeah, and yet it's just one being doing all of this. This is all, we're all just one same
one presence.
self.
That's a fundamental principle of New Thought. There's one presence, one power, in and through all of life, everywhere,
So, now at this point, I don't even use any words in my mind as correctives. I just stop using words in my mind and breathe and feel the peace and the gratitude and the love that's in us and around us.
Okay, so I just want to see if I understand this clearly. So when you notice that there's an errant thought or a thought you don't want, and so what you merely do is literally center yourself with a breathing. What do you breathe? In through your nose, out through your mouth? You just focus on the breathing? You shift your attention to the breathing?
I shift my attention away from trying to solve it with the conscious mind and just let it solve itself.
Try instead of working to figure it out, you allow.
I allow, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sort of goes back to that idea I had about divine ideas are ever available to us.
Yeah, it's like you move yourself out of the way
Right.
and let the allness of God and the infinite wisdom and power into that space to guide and direct you instead of you trying to guide you and direct yourself out
Right.
of that thing.
Right.
I get the
Yeah.
little self out of the way.
Little
Get
self
that
out of the way.
Yeah.
And the big self with a capital S.
Yes.
And you know, I want people to really understand that this is something that's real. I mean, this is something that you can just make a decision that there is this amazing power that expresses in you, through you, and as you. And I love to watch the synchronicities in my life. You know, if I'm talking about a certain subject, and then a few hours later, randomly somebody else talks about it, I know I need to pay attention. That's the universe talking to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
All those signs. You've all had that where you've been at the right place at the right time, and then there, you know, a door opens, or this happens, or there you are, or, you know, let's say, you know, I needed a ride to the airport. I didn't want to take public transportation, and don't you know that somebody calls me later that afternoon and offers a ride to the airport when I say that I'm going there. You know what I'm saying?
The universe is constantly giving us messages.
Constantly.
Yeah, I call it noia, the suspicion that the universe is out to do something good for us.
Isn't that great?
That's a great saying. I like that.
Noia, the suspicion that the universe is
Out to
yeah.
do something good for us.
You know, I used to say that in affirmations when I would teach, and I used to say all of the universe is conspiring for my good. But people objected to that word conspire because they somehow put negativity on it.
Yes.
But it's great because if you know the real definition, all of the universe is conspiring for my success. The universe conspires for great friendships. The universe conspires for peace of mind. The universe conspires for my success. The universe conspires for my joy, and on and on and on, right? Fantastic stuff,
Yeah.
right?
I think conspire means breathing together, doesn't it?
Conspire, that's right. Check you out. That's exactly what it means. Conspire, and actually comes from spirare, the Latin word to breathe, which is also the word for spirit, which is also the word for breath. See, it's all one. Just a little synchronicity right here live on Spirituality Rocks. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks with Bill Harvey and Cheryl Mchunguzi. Thank you for joining us.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully,